I saw them on the
Hey, we are on.
replay. I thought, who the heck are those people sitting in the back? They didn't say anything. They just come. Servers.
We've got a few folks here. I don't know if, Kelly, do you want to lead off?
I don't know, do I?
Chat about.
I had a long day.
You want to talk
Last day of
about
elect.
a busy January?
Like what?
By all means, go for it.
Taxes on everything.
Today's the last day.
It was the last, well, till midnight.
Till midnight. Good.
Gotta pay by midnight. So Tommy and I meet or speak on the phone pretty much daily. Several early morning meetings, a couple later on. Working with Jenny, we're, gonna be connected to the comptrollers soon, and then I can do some webinars. I have spread out the budget and have a bunch of questions that, I'll research before we sit down. Yeah, learning a lot.
It's 1 month in. It's pretty great to
Yeah.
see how much people have gone through in this office, like firsthand for so many years, and how much the budget consumes. So I think this is gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna be great to have somebody to be able to just focus on that as it comes. January's a little wild, and you're gonna be
Oh, yeah, so
You're
I'm
gonna be in
working at
here-
regular hours.
Yep.
So the tax office will be open Monday, Thursday, and Friday mornings, and then I'll come over here and work with Jenny and go through some stuff on those afternoons.
So if anybody's got any questions, I mean, Kelly or I can be contacted at any point. I'm still overseeing it all, so it's still coming out of this office, obviously, as we know today. But she'll be here regularly too, working on it.
The program got uploaded onto my computer at the tax office, the budget program. And the guy said I can call anytime if I have questions, so that's happening. And I'm a little skeptical, Mike, but
No, I'm not
sometimes
skeptical.
change is good.
I just know that even though sitting here, the supervisors, everybody, there's things that come up in the budget that everybody says like, well, what is that number? Or what's gonna happen when this number comes out, you know, cost of living, whatever those numbers are that we don't know.
Right,
And those are the things you gotta know.
right. I mean, we talked 3 times today, so it's not like I'm not,
She set a
No,
4 a.m. You set a 4 a.m.
yes. Anytime after
restriction.
4
Anytime
AM,
after 4 a.m.
not after 8 PM.
Yeah. So I called her at 4 a.m. one morning.
I mean, what the department heads and all those, that's fairly simple, not simple. It's kind of a little bit easier part of the budget, because they have to something to see if we can come up with money, blah, blah, blah. But there's all these unknown numbers that come out, and it's like,
Right.
what are we doing with that?
And I have met with 3 of the department heads, one in length, the other one went over what his whole process is, and the other one was a brief one, just to brief me because he was busy. So, and I reached out to a bunch of the other ones. Now that the main collection period is ended at the tax office, I'll be moving
Right,
along,
cool.
and we have plans to go around.
March.
So.
March, we're gonna go to departments.
No, that's
But I have this
Yep.
pad that I have a bunch of questions that I wanna research.
cool.
It's all really good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like just being in here as much as I am in here, Don, like I've been doing it for a while now on the board.
I didn't realize that.
Credit to people before us. I think it's gotten in the way of a lot of progress and opportunity for our community by having the budget just consume this office. And everybody's done a great job. It's not knocking anybody, but I think this part is gonna make things a lot easier for us to focus on some other things.
I can tell you
Stand
that
behind it 100%.
the public that comes in my office, I bet you 90% of them said to me, that is a great idea. I don't bring it up. I say we're gonna try it for a year and see how it works. But they think it's a great idea, so.
Yeah, thanks for taking it on.
It's a new thing.
It's a new thing for this community, right?
Absolutely.
It's not a new thing for.
I've never seen it done different, so.
Right.
The difference.
And like I said, I had researched it when he approached me about the job, and other towns and municipalities have done the same thing, or have done the same thing years ago, so.
And you can keep in mind too, some of these other smaller communities that they don't have the budget that we work with. They don't have like the resources and the operating structure we do. So some of these smaller communities with a lot more residents. So that's a huge part of it too. Like the mayor of cities is not doing the budget for cities. And there are big towns that have budget officers. It's just, we're looked at as a small town. Business-wise, we're not small. So, anyway. If you guys have any questions for Kelly or I at any point, just let us know. I mean, it seems to be a total benefit, but we got a lot more to figure out too, so I appreciate you giving us the time to do that. It is gonna work out a lot of this office, and Jenny's doing great. She's had a lot on her plate. Dawn is knocking it out of the park to keep everyone sane in here, so. Yeah. Kevin, you wanna go? You ready? Kevin's got some stuff to address here.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so I met with Ben and Judy just this last week, and I just learned that with Macaulay Mountain concessions, our contracts state that the town gets 10% of their revenue after their first $10,000. That 10% stays on the rent line. That doesn't get dumped back into Macaulay Mountain. It's the same with our cell tower money that our cell tower pays, or AT&T. I think there's a couple more that I think we were talking today that should be paying, and our ATM money. So I would like to figure out how we can get that back into Macaulay Mountain operations instead of just going to the general rent fund.
So I did ask that question. Did you see the email?
Yeah,
As the comptrollers, and he thought it was an accountant question. If we could move the rent monies to Macaulay. He wants to be able to show exactly what Macaulay does, because everybody thinks Macaulay doesn't ever make any money. So if he can show the whole picture.
Yeah, because those are good incomes that come in up there.
well, yeah, and here I'm trying to promote Macaulay and night skiing for Friday night fish fry, thinking like, oh yeah, Jim's gonna knock it out of the park. And it's good that our town is making that money, but I think I put in a lot of effort into some of these other events to try and help both of the concessions make more money, with the thoughts that Macaulay Mountain is also gonna be able to show, look what the concessions brought in this year.
Right now, repeat how it's structured again. Right now, the concessions, 10% of sales.
So the 10% of their revenues after their first $10,000.
Yep.
And we get those numbers, it just,
It doesn't represent, it's not represented at Macaulay. It's just, it goes under the rent for the.
It doesn't represent what Macaulay brings in as a whole,
Correct.
Right.
So it
Yeah,
doesn't
you
show
understood.
the true number that's made up there between the full
Great
operation.
for a budget officer right here, right? To be able to focus
Isn't
on
that just
that,
moving
allocate and name
from
properly.
from one account to the other at the end?
You know
of
what I
the
mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
probably just
Oh, no,
not,
I-
probably just not
that's-
named
at the
top line.
right,
year? Right.
Which you'll see,
So we're just looking for a note of concessions for rent that will show clearly that this is money that Macaulay is responsible for taking in. It should just be noted as we do our profit and loss.
Right.
yeah.
a long time ago,
Isn't that-
Kevin, we had a thing, well, actually, Mr. Fry was our attorney then. I think it was Mr. Fry, I'm pretty sure. We had up this whole spreadsheet of what all the towers should pay us. And it wasn't going very well. They were fighting it tooth and nail. I don't know if it still would, but it would be great to bring that up. I'd love to, because they got a freebie, big time.
Yeah, and it states in their contract that Macaulay is the only person who has to maintain the road.
And get them up there.
So that takes a lot, and that comes out of my miscellaneous budget.
We've actually had a lawsuit from a National Grid person that broke their ankle or something up there, and
It's a whole thing,
Yeah.
because I can't legally
printed on there.
send people up that chairlift in the winter without skis or
That's his
snowboard.
ID.
So that lawsuit that didn't happen all too long ago.
That needs to be taken care of.
Where a tower employee was coming down. They didn't see him, so they didn't slow the lift or stop the lift, and he fell getting off. So that was a pretty big deal.
Was there, why do I think there was something when George gave them like a 99-year lease or something?
I can probably try to dig up a whole bunch of that stuff that we had in
He did
place.
like 99 years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what we
I've got
for-
some information in my office, but it's just notes from someone else. I don't have any legal contracts that
Yeah,
a town has with these big companies.
And I got a bunch of stuff that you gave me on that last fall. I haven't had time to go through all of it.
maybe I don't have it then.
And there's other things, you know,
I had a big.
they have
pamphlet of
lines
stuff.
running
Yeah.
up one of our lifts. So they know that they can't get to the towers if they interfere with Macaulay operations, which in the wintertime is almost every day but Tuesdays. So I think we just need to revisit that and see where we're at with all these.
Tell you that some of these
big
people that have
companies.
cell towers on their property, they make huge dollars.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
in my opinion, the best route to go would have them build their own access road. And then they can take care of it. And it'd have to go up the backside from where, either like from the old dump or the cop shooting range. Somewhere in that area.
Back to what you first brought up, the concessions and ATM, is that what you said?
Yes, concessions, ATM
Those are the
money.
only two things that you'd like to see as revenue.
Yes.
Isn't that a year-end account transfer from one to the other?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Wouldn't to offset his budget for the ensuing year, at the end of the year transfers, anything taken in from rental, wouldn't we just subtract that from the rental account and put it in his account?
We don't. We never
Okay.
have.
I mean, I think it's just more of the, Kyle, I think it's just more to show that, you know, it's where that's coming in from, right, as a profit.
Yeah.
But do we need, I mean, yeah, with our rentals, I'll have to look into that. It just stays.
Does the concession only pay once, like when the season is over?
No,
great
they
question.
pay, for a few months that they're open.
Yeah.
They
But
pay-
only one time?
then each month they bring us
Okay.
a sheet and it's, a lease amount and then their percentage that they
Okay.
do.
And then off that last point, you need us to, because we talked earlier, the contracts for the ones that we're working with, for who's utilizing the mountain, we need some more clarity.
Yeah, for who's up there.
Access,
because these-
structure, who's up there, we don't know. I
They
remember that email
subcontract
Chris
all
sent
this
us.
work out. They subcontract the work out, so we have people showing up saying, oh yeah, I'm Joe with AT&T, but
Yeah,
they don't provide us with any insurance information or anything like that. And a lot of times they're just showing up without a 24-hour notice. So they show up and I'm telling them, no, you can't go ride the chairlift to the top right now because we're in ski season, and no, you can't drive a truck up to the tower right now because there's 6 feet of snow up there.
this is what we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So we'll get on board with those three one, was it, AT&T,
Spectrum and
Spectrum Mobile, and the First Light ones. There's three of them. National Grid was a way that we were gonna contact them to get some contact information from National Grid from those three places, cause I don't even know where that is right now. So, definitely, it's part of the whole,
And have it written up that they need to give a 24-hour notice plus show
yeah, we'll go
insurance
over,
and everything so that
we'll
you
go
know
over what's
that.
needed. You come here first, get a pass, something like, you know, get a badge of some sort that say you can go up there.
I'm telling you, that is in place, but it's not,
Well,
Right.
yeah, we'll
Yeah,
look
not
for it.
working.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably just haven't been notified in a while, so.
Right.
National Grid just contacted us. I'll talk to them.
All right.
Yeah, have some faith.
There's a pile of bills.
There's just a lot of different
That there is.
branches of National Grid.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to them.
Second, talking about concessions, I wanna open concessions for summer operations. I mean, we have just such huge traffic up there. I worked in the ticket booth a couple days this summer, and almost every single day I was in there, hey, is your lodge open for a burger? Or do you have any place that we can buy a t-shirt? So I am proposing that we lease out the ski shop and lease it out as a bike shop for bike rentals. We have 40 miles of bike trails up there, and every single weekend, even if the chairlift's slow, that mountain bike parking lot is full. It's getting a lot of utilization, and I think we can be a bigger part of that. For the food, this was kind of tricky because we have weddings. So how do you get someone to come in and be like, well, you'll be in here for this week, but then you have to be out for the weekend. We are proposing that Macaulay Mountain Management and staff take on the food concession. Chris made up, and this is kind of her lead on
This is
things.
in the packet that you gave me.
Yeah,
He made up
It's in here.
for everyone, yep.
Yeah.
There's costs and just an idea of what our costs would be, but she based everything off of just walking around BJ's getting prices, because with Cisco you can't like ask for quotes unless you make an account with them. So that was a little harder to get a solid startup cost, but the pricing is all in there. Really quick, easy, no fryer foods, a lot of grab and go, waters, Gatorades, things like that, wraps, just stuff that's quick. You know, we're not trying to compete with like the grill room right now. His food is really awesome. We don't want to get into that. We just want to offer our guests a little something to make their stay up there a little more pleasant. And lease out the bar in hopes that one of the local bars here, Bar Brewery, would like to run that for the summer.
Can I go yet? I would really love to sit down and talk to you about a lot of this stuff. Just from an experience standpoint, this is what it might mean, because even though it's Macaulay taking it over, it will turn into our town
Right.
employing that, and
Yes.
now we're gonna be, I am all for, personally, for year-round concessions up there. I've actually been approached by some local people that have experience with catering and do a nice job around here about it. Obviously, we gotta go out to bid and deal with that whole thing, but
Yep.
I would encourage us to maybe come up with a lease term that is, offsets the one we currently have with the winter. If it happens to be the same people, we maybe offer it to them. If they don't want it, then we could bring in somebody else for that. I just think you guys running food and bev up there, plus when you get into liquor license stuff for the bar to run their liquor license, then your food's got to be connected. So, but if it's just a brewery, that's a different story.
I was
But the
hoping
liquor board-
that there wouldn't be liquor up there in the summer, like a
Yeah,
full
just-
bar. I was hoping it would just be beer and wine.
That's
You could
great.
get a beer and wine license or,
Usually you've got to have food with NYSLA.
okay.
So that's just part of the thing. If the food vendor is different from the bar person, it's again, we're getting
I gotcha.
a little, off here, where if it's the same, if you take, Jim Holt does a great job currently in the winter, right? If you take another, let you offer, hey, Jim Holt, what do you think about doing it in spring, summer, fall? We'll come up with some sort of offer for them. And Jim, yeah, I just like the winter. Okay, now we'll open the door for other people to take both those spots with the contingency that we currently have some weddings.
Right.
When we have to,
And I would like to, if whoever did get the lease, be able to cater these weddings, but I can't tell the people getting married, like, you have to use our caterer.
so like in the short term, because what I don't want to see happen is like, oh, we got weddings, no, forget about it, we can't do that. We can come up with whoever takes it over to let them know, hey, we'll give you a break on, this month's rent because you really can't be in there 3 weekends in July or something, or going in September, whatever the wedding season is.
Okay.
Hannah's in here right now, she probably knows all of them up there currently for 2026 as, you know, but.
Well, I wanted to bring this up now so that we can have something figured out going into spring.
And we talked about, when we, last year, 2025 year, this was brought up, and I think we all were pretty much like, yeah, let's figure it out. I just would encourage,
Well, and I want to do it right, you know, I don't want it to try it and then have it not work. So I think, you know, more talking would be great. But I do think it's important that we, like I said, we get this out before. You know,
Well, so you would be getting somebody to run the bike place all summer too then?
Yes.
Cause I would be in favor if we're gonna promote this
It's
biking part of
gonna
it.
be, it's gonna be everything.
As-
Our full lodge is gonna be operating.
I mean, I would imagine, again, like going off of who's currently there, if you offer that to them, like Mountain Man would probably take on the bike rental out of there, that'd be great, you know? That's what I'm trying to say. I think just continuing going off of what we currently have, just pretend there's no snow around.
Yeah.
It'll be a hit. I really believe that. If it's done right. I just would really be worried about, you guys are already doing so much. And then we would be essentially employing restaurant workers up there.
Right.
I love the ones that I have, and that's where I'm from, and, you know, come from, growing. It's hard. It's hard. You get into like food costs, going to BJ's and stuff it's a whole different ballgame than running a restaurant, respectively. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she just did that to get rough numbers to show,
Yeah.
just because.
Yeah. And just, yeah.
And it's more of an informational deal as far as us allowing them to look into it more, you know, move ahead with it.
Yeah.
That we're all on the same, roughly on the same page with it, so that they can move forward with.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's just my, you know,
Yeah.
So
little experience.
we'll continue talking about that then.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are,
Well, definitely we gotta
Find
get
out
going
more
on it sooner
information.
than later because
Yeah.
spring's gonna come here pretty darn quick and there's a lot of things gotta be in place.
Yep.
I feel that really a lot of things gotta be in place.
I will say,
But I mean, it's, if there's just a few things like you, with the contracts and figuring out the weddings, I mean, everything else is set. All of our equipment, coolers, fridges, stoves, everything.
I love the ambition. I really do. I keep on it. The liquor board, I highly doubt you'll get a seasonal liquor license for this season, with it being February. But there's doesn't mean you can't start going without one. You know, you can do all sorts of stuff up there to you know, to get the ball rolling. When it comes, it's great. You know, they give you 12 days. You can use a different business's liquor license to do 12 days of 12 separate days if you want.
Right. So just one other thing, and this is another summertime. I want to start doing disc golf. There. So this is another thing that we would try to. Macaulay would buy the baskets. They're $3,000 for 9 of them. I have a little mock-up disc golf course in your packet, I believe. If not, I can get it.
Oh no, we just got.
Pretty sure.
Oh, that's just for the proposal. I have a map lined up.
Yeah, there is a thing in here for golf.
Very popular sport. It's inexpensive. It's easy to maintain. We already mow the ski trail that it would happen on. So I would like to see us purchase the baskets and then work something out with, if Mountain Man does want to do the bike shop, where they could rent discs through the bike shop. This course would start at the top of Macaulay. It's a free to play course. But you have to buy a chair ticket to ride the chairlift up and play down, or if you bring your own gear, you can definitely hike up and play down for free as well.
Would there be times it's available, like in regards to like the leaf peepers or mountain bike riders? Like you just have open hours or whatever, is it?
Yeah.
I know disc golf's playing. I think this is another amazing idea. I just didn't want to have a clash with.
It would be during our summer and fall chairlift operating hours.
These guys, it's pretty remarkable.
Yes, and I've got.
They're not gonna be hitting.
I've done a lot of reading into, like the DGA, the professional disc golf people. They have all sorts of grants. If you do a startup on your course and you can show them like, look, we would like to get into this. They have grant money, that they offer to help upgrade, your facilities courses. It's just another thing that I think we can offer that's, like I said, relatively inexpensive, low maintenance. Just offering another activity.
That's during leaf peeping deal, or, I mean, you don't
Summer,
run that
fall.
chairlift every day, all winter, all summer.
Right, yeah, so it'd be in between just when we open at the end of June until Columbus Day.
I think it's a great idea.
Awesome.
I saw that down when we were at Greek Peak.
Yep.
I saw that and I thought it would be awesome to have up there.
They're popping up everywhere.
I do have, so this is my course. I have a couple of spots where you can see it from the chair.
Coming to the Tuesday meeting. This is great, man.
So I'm hoping that people will be able to ride the lift and see it. I think it'll grow like that.
You guys wanna, take a look at that?
Never seen it.
No, you've seen it already as well.
Yep.
It's a pretty good layout.
And yeah, like I said, there's room to grow with this.
Same meeting, you know?
I'd love to get going down, have a full 18 hole or 2 courses going down each side of the mountain. I'm not sure going down Sidewinder would be great because it's usually a little wet, but we'll see. But that's why I would like to go with these portable baskets so we can go and make our own course and see really what works.
Yeah, this is something that just grows into a
Yeah.
wild draw. And it's-
Colleges are starting to have like legitimate teams and
Actually met a guy that built
That means
this.
you're gonna have to keep
Forest.
tracks
He's like,
who uses it this summer to go for grant money to expand.
yeah.
Not the
Have the full numbers.
We could make a disc golf lift ticket. It wouldn't be any different than the scenic chair, but it would just have disc golf on it. And I think that would we'd be able to keep track of the demographics like that really well.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's my big 2 ones.
I just wanna say thank you. Really, Kevin, I mean, this is, bring this stuff on, do it, 4 years ago now, I was when the North Street Rec Center, actually, when I was at my first meeting, it's like, oh, I wanna do something for the rec center. And it was like, well, okay, that sounds great, how's it gonna work? And Linda made a comment at that meeting about go out there and do it, and did it, so, keep doing it with this stuff, cause you guys are already doing amazing things up there in that mountain. I'm open to all this stuff. I think as Mike said, we just gotta make sure we're doing it the right way, and we gotta straighten it all out. There's a ton of different ways to do all that stuff you just brought to the table. We're lucky to have you up here. It's a whole new energy, and it's doing great. It's already showing up there, and everybody's talking about what's going on with that mountain. It's pretty great.
I appreciate the support.
Keep it up, man. Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
So we giving them a nod to start, move forward with it,
With what?
with everything.
The disc golf.
Disc golf.
Disc golf and
Oh, yeah.
Another meeting about the concessions.
concession.
Right, 'cause he had
Can get more information.
Yeah, we've gotta,
post it or whatever.
yeah, I think we'll have to have a little more discussion on like how the concession thing would go and which route we should take. At least I would prefer that.
Right, and if
Yeah.
we can get somebody in for the bike shop, there's
I think you'd-
about 5 or 6 moving parts here that I think have to
Yeah.
come together to.
Yep.
I think you'd find out if you got a really good, energetic caterer or somebody like that up there that's got experience in the restaurant that can maybe tap into another place up here that's already got something going on up here is what I've heard some, people have been talking about that a little bit. It'd be a great asset and it would be less for us to take on. But as far as the disc golf goes, yeah, by all means, I would say figure out where to start and, we've got a great grant team already working with the town right now, like from an advisory standpoint. So I'm just hearing this publicly. I bet we'll get a lot of messages and emails from some people trying to help us with that, with the funding side of it too.
Perfect. Yeah, there's a lot of contacts that I've found that I can try reaching out and see the best approach to starting. I know they all want to start with having someone come up and design a course for us, but I don't think we really need to dive into it like that.
No.
Who's got the closest one to us? This
There's one
go.
at Snow Ridge and there's one at Oak Mountain. But I've read some reviews saying they love the courses, but it's a lot of walking up and down. So I think we're gonna get a lot of people that will pay for a chair ticket and then play down.
They mountain bike and play disc golf. They
could.
And then hopefully have a beer afterwards.
Well, right now, Jim's, it's his liquor license that's running that.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
His contract, I believe, is up this spring.
Right.
And
So I
I
think it'd be a good time to revisit his contract and try to wrap in the summer one.
Correct.
This is all good stuff. Even the budget stuff, really, we'll straighten that out. That won't be a problem. And I think just do some more research and you're talking with Ben and Judy, keep filling them in, and they're doing a great job with filling, get some more information.
All right. Any other questions?
The window, did you fix the window? Or what did we do about that?
No, it's ordered.
Ordered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on.
Got 2 quotes for that.
I saw it, but I didn't know what's going on with it.
Yep, it's coming. It had like a 2-week lead time on it. So I think we asked them if they could either be here tomorrow or the Tuesday after Winter Carnival weekend, which is this weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you
Yeah,
go.
good luck with that this weekend. Be
I'm
busy.
excited. Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be fun. Building castle
Usually is.
farm, which is always fun. You gonna have that excavator clean?
I'm waiting to hear from Dan. It's clean and ready to go.
All right.
Oh,
Perfect.
boy.
See
All right.
ya.
Well, thank you all.
Thanks, Kevin.
Have a nice night.
Thanks, Kevin.
You as well.
See ya.
We've got Mary here.
Good, Don.
Mary and Don. Would you guys like to talk about?
Yeah, just kind of here to let the board know, that the Community Health and Wellness Fund at our regular meeting last week voted to, expend $40,000 towards the ultrasound machine that, the MVHS is looking to purchase for our health center. And Don can speak probably more to this. Traditionally, when equipment is purchased for the health center, whether it's the dental office or the medical office, it's been split 50-50 between the town and the health center fund, Community Health and Wellness Fund, same thing. And then the town owns the equipment. But the hospital or whoever is responsible for the maintenance and upkeep of it. I have an actual quote here, if anyone was interested. Julie Prolansky sent this to me. Because Tom, I think you asked her for it, a quote.
Yeah, the ultrasound thing has been a topic, and
Yes, and this
thought when it
is
comes-
the machine that they have a search committee there that was looking into the best machine for whatever the needs were, and it's a very multi-use machine. They can use it for all different kinds of procedures and diagnostics and that kind of thing, and it's a refurbished machine. The new ones, I think she said, were $170,000, but this is a refurbished one with a guarantee, and it's $78,697.35. So essentially, pretty much $80,000. So we're hoping that the board is seeing the value of this as much as we are, and would consider funding the other half so we can get moving on this. Because they're ready to pay for a full-time tech, which is a big deal. Because going forward, that's gonna be the big expense for the hospital, is paying for the tech. And with benefits and all of that kind of stuff. There's a person that actually lives in Old Forge that is trained and wants the jobs, which is really amazing. You know, that's the problem, where you have to go and find somebody to run these machines. It took us, what, a year to get an X-ray tech? Well, this person is here, ready to roll. So, feels like it's just lining up. And it's gonna be a big benefit to the town, to the community. It will help to increase the use of the health center. You know, hopefully they can expand it eventually because of increased use. I think, Tom, they also said that they would need to, the MVHS would need to build a wall to make it a private space, because it would go into what used to be the procedure room or the emergency room. And they would need to just put a wall in to make it a private space, and that they would pay for that.
And Mike, you sat in on a lot of this stuff too, and you were with the Health and Wellness Fund, I think, the other night, you guys talked about it.
Yes, we talked about it.
Yeah.
We had our winter meeting last week, and we authorized $40,000 towards the purchase of a machine. So it's a good thing to have.
Awesome.
It really increases the versatility of the center in terms of offering all sorts of services. And the fact that we've got somebody in town who can immediately take over operating a machine is a real bonus as well.
Huge.
Julie recruited that person, so. I mean, they could conceivably get this going by April. I'm not saying all sorts of things can happen, but they could conceivably get this going, certainly before summer. And it certainly works into a whole bunch of things that we're interested in seeing happen over there, which is an increase in services. They're already talking about expanding services this summer, hours, the same way they did last year. But advertising it a little bit more effectively is the best way to say that, so that people are aware of those additional hours. But that's a real bonus too, having the place open for additional hours. So.
That, to me, what I got out of them is the more we show that the building needs more, they're willing to do more.
Right.
But we have to show that we need it more.
Well, the thing about the ultrasound that Dr. Perlansky mentioned is that she's typically would prescribe that as a diagnostic tool or whatever, and she's had patients wait up to 2 months to get an ultrasound done because they're so short-staffed at MVHS or wherever. And here it would be done immediately. So it's a huge thing.
It's nice
Huge
having,
benefit.
yeah, it's really an advantage having those services available here.
Heck
No
yeah.
question. Whether it's phlebotomist, the X-ray tech, or now ultrasound tech, that's really a bonus to have those things available here. People may come from elsewhere to use those kinds of services here.
What sitting on the fund board, I did vote in favor of doing that, but I know where the money's coming from there. I didn't know from the town end of it, because that's budget stuff that we did not budget for, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't have that answer.
I think we're all, I know, I'll just speak for myself, I'm for it, and a plan for MVHS on the wall, though, that, Julie said that would be super easy. What it brings to the table, a technician here, all that stuff is all adding up. I think it's just a bit of, I don't know, documentation, I guess, like how this thing works in the past. You guys have said earlier, Health and Wellness has contributed, town has contributed, and then it's owned by the town, right? In this instance, this would be the same.
Yes, sure. Why not?
And they just
Always has been.
operate it just like, so like, let's just say MVHS, is that stuff all in writing? Like they know that this is just a piece of equipment that belongs to the building that we own,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Same with all the dentist stuff.
But again, they would be responsible for the maintenance and upkeep.
So I'd just like to see something written up with all that. I know it's always been the old handshake deal thing, but we're trying to.
And I'm also wondering, is there any way that the Health and Wellness Fund could also receive income off of it for the use of it to go towards future purchases of equipment and things?
They've never done
They've
that.
never done anything
Because,
like that.
they make a lot of money off of those machines.
It's certainly gonna
A
be
lot.
prominently featured in our fundraising for
You
the
know.
next couple of years, I can tell you that.
Well,
In the
and I
same
know-
way that we just last year paid for the new the new chair in the hygienist's office, so in Dr. Lister's office. And that'll be prominently featured in all our fundraising literature for the next year or so as well. And that was exactly the same thing. The town picked up, it was about $32,000 for that chair and associated equipment. And the town picked up half of that, and that fund picked up the other half.
And the same was true for the x-ray machine. That x-ray machine was
Correct.
purchased by the town and
So,
on.
so to go off of that, I think what would happen is if this were to be put in place, it would allow a lot more faith from donors and stuff, which would help out more to put more
Absolutely.
towards health and wellness
Yeah.
fund, you know.
You
Because
know,
I don't
I-
think then you guys would be able to take, you know, I think you'd be paid back through other donors
Absolutely.
and stuff versus like
Absolutely.
people that are getting the service
Well,
would be paying.
I think it's
So,
probably a good thing for the hospital too,
Yeah.
to increase business because they lose money on us, big time.
Right.
They do for most of their clinics. It's not just us. But for us, they lose more. I don't know why, but they tend to. So it would be a boon for them and, you know, and a reason to look at expansion, I think, if they were able to increase their revenue.
Has there been any documentation or contract or anything written up in the past for equipment purchases?
Yeah.
It's gotta be something, right?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
it was a little weird though, cause the town maintained that building. We went like before.
Well, that was before
I mean, so
MVHS, right,
then,
before the
like,
hospital.
as the dental office, we would come and the health center fund, I still call it
Right.
health center
Health
fund,
and
It is.
would help us
I'm the same way.
what we
and or
still
the
have.
doctors.
Legally, it's
And
what we
then
still
now
have.
MVHS isn't, you know what I mean? It's a little different, cause it was just the town
So,
helping the
yeah, so-
town.
We still
So we'll just-
maintain the
Well,
building
it's the
though.
same with the dental office, because.
Right, no, but I'm
Right.
saying now it's
Specific to-
MVHS
Right.
helping,
This
where it's
is-
all
right
town.
Case, that's
Right,
all.
but,
So
but
it was
the
as-
dental
as
office
ever
was always
contract.
separate, a
So why
separate
don't we-
entity, it wasn't, like, you didn't get paid by the town.
Oh,
You
no,
got
no,
paid-
no,
right?
I understand
You know what
that,
I'm
but
saying?
like Bart Ball
Yeah.
would come to the town and
Right.
say, hey,
We need
we need
this, right,
so it was different back then, so town.
That's all,
was
that's all I'm saying, we'll make it
Yeah.
specific to this scenario.
absolutely.
And then we'll look into the budget. Could this go under buildings? To me, it seems like it can. I'd like to catch up on that, you know.
We do have a
Contingency,
document
I
that
don't
we've
know,
used in the
contingency.
past, you know, whenever there was a purchase. Now, not, to my knowledge, not since MVHS took over, but we could certainly revisit that document, but there's
Yeah.
Do
a
you remember
I'm
what
sure.
happened with the x-ray machine? I don't know,
I don't
remember.
I wasn't around for that one, but.
I know there
And
was
then-
something
and then we
written
probably-
that when anything gets bought for that building, it belongs to the town. I
Right,
know there
right.
was something there.
Yes,
Can I put my hands on it? No, but I just remember that being.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a variety of equipment that this kind of arrangement has paid for over the years. You know, we've paid for, the fund paid for everything, for the first computer system that went in over there was paid for by the fund way back when.
Yeah.
And that was the largest purchase, the largest commitment the fund made at that point. When they went to electronic billing, they needed computers, we paid for those. And we've routinely paid for all sorts of equipment. Now, we don't routinely pay for all sorts of equipment on the medical side because MVHS picks up,
Right.
you know, that kind of stuff. But
And we're looking at procurement policies, that's a different conversation right now, but because it's a specific item, refurbished, used, we've had this in the past, like for instance, those hockey boards where I think we can make this purchase without multiple quotes and stuff like that, because it's a unique, used.
well, it's
I just have
really,
to
it's
look
not
into
even
that
a
too.
purchase, it's a donation, I believe.
Yeah,
You look at it different, it's not, I think it's,
well, you're donating 40 grand, we're
Right.
purchasing it with
yeah, I know.
the 40 grand,
yeah,
so
I'm
our,
not sure how
It
you,
becomes a
how.
town, yeah.
it's not a donation in my eyes.
Really donating
Yeah.
that kind of money.
Not sure how it was
So,
done in
but
the past.
I
really
think
don't know.
it's in the past there have been unique products and stuff like that where if it
The hygienist chairs was a really good example.
There's a good
of recent,
example.
You know, and there are not that, I mean, in many cases, there are not that many vendors that they can turn to for that equipment.
Okay.
There's essentially one vendor for the dental equipment.
This is the machine that they researched the heck out of it, you know,
Yeah.
what I heard,
We
it
can
took
talk to them
weeks.
about
As far
that.
as being
And,
able to kind of
You know,
source
there are,
that,
oh,
where
pick this or
don't
this,
need
they
to go out to-
didn't,
Right, like Philips
Bids.
medical equipment is
right,
gonna be.
it's
Every
Philips,
yeah.
Philips is the,
Yeah, we can.
I just want to follow up on it.
Yeah, we can talk. to
That's
them.
all.
We can talk to
Yeah.
them.
Ron,
Yeah.
you got something on that, Ron?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the status is for people talking, but it sounds to me like two big benefits to the town. One is that if you go there, you can get this diagnostics done. And another is, they're talking about hiring another employee,
Yes.
which is another
Yes.
good job for some
Somebody here,
townsperson.
yeah.
Take everyone we can get.
And Don, is that like a pretty solid thing that they will hire somebody else?
Oh, it's solid, they've made the commitment to hire this person.
And
Yeah.
they think there's enough need for this that they can employ a full-time person, that's great.
Yeah, all this stuff's right here, great. Yeah, we'll do our part and we'll
So
look at.
we'll get some more information.
Get,
Let me know what you need, we'll
Thanks.
get you. what-
I told Dr. Polanski before, like some sort of plan or drawing. I know it's just a simple wall, but something to our building, what I'd like to have documented so we can put that in with this, how the building is being altered.
Right, probably some sort of electrical connection is gonna be needed for that too, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so that stuff we wanna see too. We get all these pop-up costs and stuff like that.
What's the full purchase price of it?
80.
80,000.
About just under 80,000.
Just under 80.
$78,000.
Yeah.
We've committed 40.
And thank you.
So
Very
you guys
much
need to
making
take
this
a
possible.
vote, or are you gonna just kind of wait for information before you vote on it, or?
I think we should find out where the money can come
Yeah.
from first.
So maybe we can try and do this before Tuesday's meeting. Tuesday's.
Get all the information?
Yeah.
Okay. I know they're waiting for us, so they've done all their stuff,
Yeah,
so
I-
now we have to get more from them.
Yeah.
So you're looking for, I just
We're
want to
gonna
be clear, because I'm gonna
number
talk
one.
to them later.
Make sure we've got a couple bucks for it. That's it.
Then somebody on the board just make a motion and if it gets accepted, we do it.
In the meantime, we'll do our part. We're figuring that stuff out. If you guys could get, or MVHS, that's
Yes.
their department.
Yes.
Have them get. I've asked for that too, like just so I could show.
You know, I don't think that was clear. It wasn't clear to them what you were looking for. I think they were looking.
If you're gonna put a
They
wall
thought
up-
you were looking for this. It was just.
Well, no, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. No, but I asked if you're gonna alter a building we own,
Okay,
can we see the alteration? That's all.
absolutely.
And some details on how they chose this particular piece of equipment. at this price.
Well, that's all in that document that was emailed to you.
Yeah, maybe.
Their rationale for choosing this, it's all in there.
Maybe have Bill and John oversee a little bit, just to make sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we have,
It's a good idea.
we have guys on our staff, we could do the wall.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great recommendation, Mike.
So should I say that the town might possibly do it? I mean,
If we get the plan, yeah. And then we can.
If
Kyle
not
makes a
more, we
great
can
point.
have.
Yeah, I mean, we got the guys on
Those
the,
guys will.
we got the guys on staff that can do something like that. I'm just worried about the money aspect. Where are we gonna pull that from?
Exactly.
for the machine.
Oh, she emailed me.
Yeah.
They're paying for the wall.
I got an email at 4:51, so that's why I didn't see. I'm trying to figure out what email you're speaking to.
She
Yeah,
just
I
sent,
didn't
she
see
just sent it, that's how I got it. She just called me before it came.
Does their present lease, Mike, allow them to alter things? Like, when they did the big alteration and we were all working in there, that was different. But then going forward, can they alter anything? You know, if the
Not
lease
without
says.
permission, I don't think.
You know, I mean, it is our building, so I,
Right, but I didn't know if their lease
Codes.
says they can.
does that matter? I don't know what, these kind of things I don't know, but I'm assuming that, yeah, we can put a wall in there,
We,
but I,
No, I know we can, I'm just saying their lease.
If they
says-
can alter
They
it
can't. We
while they
can't.
lease it.
That's-
Kyle, brings
they
up-
will-
Kyle has a great idea. I think we should
Right.
just follow it with Kyle. Just
Right, yeah.
give us what you guys want to do, and Kyle, we got very capable people. I think it's a great way to do it. That way we,
Yeah.
you know, or we might have to go out to bid for that. I don't, you know,
I don't think
how many
we
more
have to go out to
things?
bid for that.
I don't think so either.
I mean, if somebody else does it, you know, but I don't
Right.
think so. But again, I just want to follow.
If they were willing to chip in for the wall, maybe if the town takes the wall on their building,
Yeah,
then they could take that hit toward the equipment. You know, do a little swap-a-roo.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like if they were gonna put
At least part of
$5,000
it.
into the wall, if they put $5,000
Into the-
into the machine and
Right.
the town could take the wall, right, and
Yeah.
chip down
Six of
that.
one, half a dozen of the other, but that makes
Right.
it legal.
Right, something like that.
Let's number one talk about money this week in the budget. Kelly's got it jotted down. We'll get
Thursday, I got
together.
it.
We're meeting Thursday and Friday this week, like actually meeting versus 4 a.m. phone calls. So we'll do Thursday and Friday. We'll make sure we get
Okay,
those
in the
straight.
meantime, I'll get some documentation from.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get some more.
And maybe we'll try and dig up, Don can try and dig up some previous, Mike already suggested that there was paperwork, you guys know that on the X-ray machine or other
I'm
dentists.
sure that somewhere in those.
He's gotta have
files
something there.
there's
Yeah.
something.
We can just take a look at it, how it was
Yeah.
structured
I was-
before.
I wasn't on the board then, but, I mean, certainly the hygienist, that documentation.
That was recent.
That was.
That's just very
that was
Very
recent,
recent.
The last
very
6
recent,
months.
yeah.
Okay,
If you need that. And I can give you a copy of the document that we've used in the past.
okay.
Stipulates
That might be
the
helpful
town,
too, yeah.
Okay. All right,
Not calling it.
Hannah, you got any? You're looking.
May I
Yeah.
ask a non-financial question?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Save it for Tuesday.
So I met with the school Little League in a brand new youth softball program that's coming up in the town of Webb. So we're starting to plan our spring sports schedules, all the above. We're coming into a conflict of enough field space and time to accommodate our constantly growing youth sports. So I would like to do a proposal, which I've already spoken to Jeff about. He has no issues, any of the above, for a temporary T-ball field on the soccer field. We would not be bringing in clay, sand, any of that. It would just be lining the fields. The Little League will be in charge of lining it, putting the bases down, picking the bases up after every practice and game. And the school has agreed to allow Little League to store their bases in the score box that's right there. That way it's closer to the field. There's been talks of putting in a temporary fence just to help with that, but with T-ball, the balls aren't really going too far. We're not worried about a batter missing the ball and it going back, but I wanted to see if the board had any questions or concerns with these type of plans or anything I can look into on behalf of the town. Kind of seems like it would work pretty well for all avenues. And again, Jeff is on board. He doesn't see any conflict with mowing or field maintenance or any of that stuff.
And that's just painted on?
Just lines, and then the bases will be staked in, removed after every game or practice.
I see no issue with it. There's a lot of towns that do something like that. They share fields, even baseball fields, one on one side, one on the other side. I see no issue with that.
I don't either.
I gotta be the guy.
No,
That
ask
corner
the
over there,
questions, that's why we're here.
just a note, that corner over there, that, somewhere over there is where it does get a little bit damp. I can tell you that.
Yeah, we're gonna try to avoid the
little soggy over
wetland
there.
area over there, and we can move it closer to the actual Little League, but we're trying to go as far away as we can.
Is it possible to go over here and out? Because my concern is
By
if
the
you,
playground.
yeah, if you have people that just see like a baseball diamond and they're just coming down to the playground to play ball, they're just gonna pull up and baseballs and baseball bat and stuff. They would be swinging towards the other people there. Like if they're hitting, I'm saying if it's not T-ball people, they're gonna see like lines painted, bases painted. If they see somebody over,
Hardball,
what's that?
if they use the hardball, you mean?
Yeah, like just
Compared to,
you drive by all these fields and those are just random. It's great to see them used and stuff. I'm just saying, I think if you move, like if you go here with home plate,
swap corners.
yeah, just
And have
swap
it face
corners,
towards the scoreboard.
and then
of
it's
the
gonna
soccer
face
field.
towards the other way.
Yeah.
It's an easy.
Maybe some thought with that. And then the fence, I would just be careful with that unless they're taking it up and putting it up and taking it down, because then people do go down there and play soccer and stuff. That again is just a recreational use.
I don't think they need to put a fence up for T-ball.
I don't think so.
Just paint the lines.
That's literally all this. I didn't even know
That's a
about
good,
this yet. It's a
good
great thing.
thought though.
Yeah.
Put it over there.
You get some
Or over
Tim
there.
class here over there is like, I'm gonna knock it out of the park, and now they're hitting into the now they're hitting into the playground. They're hitting the basketball court and then the road. So
Just put signs up, wear hard hats.
yeah. Right. Cool. Good to go. Anyway, I've got a couple things for you guys. We've got it was brought to my attention about applying for a grant for that mass communication, like possibility with like text messages between our own department, like from all of our employees, and outreach to maybe fire, EMS, the school, whatever. And I just needed a nod just to make sure you guys are okay with that, for us to apply to the generous acts through Adirondack Community Foundation. Just didn't know if that was tomorrow. The reason it came up so quickly, I think tomorrow's the deadline, and Linda's prepared a lot of that. Wednesday, yeah. So Wednesday is the deadline for that.
They're always like that.
Yeah, we're talking.
Hurry up and do it tomorrow.
Yeah, we're talking like. Yeah, go ahead, Linda.
I wrote a draft of the grant. It's actually ready to be submitted with an upload, which is just a town balance sheets for 2025 and the financials for 2025, income and expense for the town, general fund, and the balance sheet to show the financial. I've sat on this review panel for generous acts at the Adirondack Community Foundation for basic needs. It is a basic need, and it's framed as an emergency, a text messaging service for use with neighboring communities in the case of an emergency.
So it's a little different than my employee email thread. You can get this through the same types of companies that provide this service, but it's different than that. Like, for instance, one of the companies that we had talked to, it's like 25,000 text messages is $3,000 a year for us. So like you get, the ability to send out that many messages.
Who informs the company? I guess you gotta explain a little to me. It goes EMS, fire, all this stuff. Well, who informs them that there's an emergency or whatever? How does the text get started?
We would come out of this office, the supervisor's office here.
And is
I
it,
bet people will bring it to our attention. It would not anybody that is in this text. It's not like a major group chat. It's just like there's no reply on it either.
Right.
So it's just like a
Right.
notice.
So right
Well,
now,
more of an informational,
That's it.
so that, send it out to all the town employees and department heads and us, so that we can inform people versus
Yep.
going second,
Oh.
third hand on
Okay.
issues and
Okay.
different things, and
right now, as it
actually
sits
know what's going on.
Yep.
versus
as a
actually
draft,
knowing what's happening.
for the supervisor to submit. The draft frames it pretty generally, and it talks about estimates for the setup costs, for training costs, and it talks about in-kind services. If you coordinate with all your local Red Cross shelters, right? Like if they're getting like, boom, flooding at, wherever, and, Old Forge ambulance, if everybody is getting the same thing across the board, it's really framed as an opportunity. It is not something that if you are not funded, you have to act on in any way. If you are funded, then you would have to get bids from different companies and choose one, and
Yeah. So we got to follow again through the procurement policies of all that. If we were able to be awarded the grant, then we can figure out how we want to do it, how much we want to do, because a lot of these, like Town of Forestport uses this, North Alba, Lake Placid, Cooperstown, a lot of towns similar to ours. So it's just a service that, and a lot of these towns, and especially tourist towns, take it even further, where they put it right on their town's website, or you can see that. You can just text so and so to subscribe to this. We're not to that point, because the more messages, the more money it is. So we would just basically inform our people and the emergency services, the area, people that would need to know what's going on, and then, you know what happens in a lot of these towns is they take the screenshot of the message they get, and then you see them put it all over social media, so it gets it out that way versus costing us more money. However, this is great. Linda's heard me talk about this, and it was brought to her attention about funding for it. I'm like, oh, this will make it even better for us to get.
So right now, we're just agreeing to look
Go
at
for the grant.
Looking for that grant.
Nothing more than that
To see
for
funding.
to press
Yeah, that's-
submit tomorrow
Gotcha.
to get funding for it, and then we can totally talk about, you know, when Judy gets back, and we can figure out the best way that we want to do that if we were happen to be awarded. So there's
Gotcha.
and it's
I've got a nod.
yeah.
You got one
Okay,
for me?
thanks. Sorry. Appreciate it.
Jimmy might have something too.
How much is the grant for?
So
3,500.
the grant budget is written as an ask for $10,000. I don't think it's likely that it will be fully funded, but I think there's a very good chance it would be partially funded, depending on how many funds they have to expend. Having sat on that panel before, that the year I did it 2 years ago for basic needs, it would have looked like a strong application to me, but it would have depended on how much was available. And my guess is, on the year I did it, I predicted that particular group of people would have given like 6,500 or 7,000, something like that. Truthfully.
Okay.
It's the startup money, I don't really know much about it. Like for the program itself,
It's $3,000 annually right now for 25,000 techs. So if 25,000 people
For that
are in our contact, we can send one message out, right? Yeah. But you'd think like 100 people.
right,
So in 1 year, it's $3,000 to text 100 people 250 times.
There are setup fees,
Right.
and there are scales, and there are other pieces, and you would have to actually, have town people trained, and that takes time. So the budget is built out to cover those estimates and cost,
And also, thank you.
because all the services cost different amounts as well. So it's kind of an amalgam. The numbers are not hard numbers, they're estimates.
And then did a little research on our. Are we good on that? We're just our Northern Borders grant that we were awarded for. We were awarded this. You guys were briefed on this a little bit. I just wanted to kind of make that whole thing clear for us to try and figure out. We're currently working on ways to move forward on that. In regards to what we can and can't do right now, we were awarded, $970,000 for a 50% match grant through Northern Borders, and there's ways for us to pay our half of that match grant. And I just wanted to get this guy on your guys' mind as we try and figure out what goes on here, Judy, too. It's like a zero interest loan because we've been flagged as hardship on there with federally with EFC.
Mm-hmm.
So we could potentially find money to match that grant for us to move forward on actual plan and construction of the 3. There's 6 areas of concern, but we're focused on 3 right now. And Ron Smith this year. He did a lot of looking into this from an advisory standpoint. I don't know if there's a lot more that goes into it, but I'm just trying to be careful of their time. I mean, we've got some work to do on it. A lot of it has to do with just having an actual plan to put together. But I don't know if you want to.
Well, Julie Berlin, who's spent a lot of time the last few days helping, she's like an expert on grants and lobbying and so on. And so we were investigating this grant. It's $970,000. Half of it's funded. The grant is actually half of that, and the other half has to come up with a match. And she seemed pretty confident that we could get, as did Corey when I spoke with him today, that Corey from BCA, that you could come up with an EFC zero interest, or maybe it would be zero interest for half of it and market for one half of it, so the aggregate would be like 2%. And you could borrow that money possibly for the match. And then with that, BCA had been talking about to continue for another year, just doing more studies and engineering, and then apply for another WIA grant for the whole $5 million project, which is all 6 of the areas of concern. But after looking at it, we found out that you could actually start construction on the 3 major areas of concern. And Scott Gaffney spent a lot of time talking about it today too. That, you know, the Pullman Avenue one, which if something happened to that, it'd back up the whole system, is the main one. And the other 2 are the one by the bank here. And, where's the third one? Oh, the one on the South Shore Road there.
The health center.
And so you could actually, with that amount of money, theoretically, complete those 3 projects. And in a conversation with a woman from WIA, Tommy remembers the names, I never know the names.
Elizabeth Ricci, she's from EFC.
EFC. She said that the question we posed to her was that if you started some construction on some portions of this, and then you applied for the WIA grant with a whole $5 million project, would you hurt yourself that you showed, oh, you already were able to do it? And she said that only helps. It scores you more points if you have demonstrated that the project is actually not just shovel ready, but some shovels are in the ground. So it seems like, you know, that's course action that certainly Scott would love to see, is some of those projects actually being tackled rather than just engineered and engineered and engineered.
It's
We
exciting
talked about
stuff.
that borrowing the money. Obviously, when you borrow money, you have to pay it back. You have to find the money to pay it back with. The thing that, and maybe you guys found out something a little different, but when I asked Corey about, because I was specifically trying to say that word. Specifically trying to ask him, we have this one problem over, that's the main problem. Why don't we just dig that up and do it? We got 400.
We got to today.
We can't. We have to do all 3 of those. We have to be working on all 3 at the, we can't just do one of them,
Right.
is what I understood. And if that's
True, I think that's true. I think you have to do all 3.
Three.
To get
Yeah.
that grant money?
to get that grant.
Yeah, because the grant was
You don't have to
written
be
for all
necessarily
3.
Engineering all 6. You don't have to wait to start the 3 until you get a grant for the other 3. And that, where was I going with that?
We
Oh,
got,
that the EFC loan to fund the other half of it would be a 2 to 4 year loan, it looks like. It could be longer with some legislative interaction, but you get a 2 to 4 year loan, and then if the following year you get the full WIA funding, which would, chances of getting that would be enhanced by having started,
Okay.
then some of that money could be used to pay back that loan, or at least a portion of that loan.
Corey was pushing for us to borrow that money, but we were scared because we just
Oh,
didn't know if we
he's
could.
pushing to borrow to do the 3 right off. the
Right,
bat.
oh yeah, that's how he said, you wanna get started, go borrow the money, and now you go.
But when we had that meeting with him, he said you can start it. You don't have to do all 3 at the same time. You do one, move on to the next, move on to the next. It's
Not all should read simultaneously.
Yes, like,
Same
yeah.
day. Right.
so
Is the
we can
whole
still apply and get
project the
funding as
970,
that's
or is it
happening.
more money than that?
It's
The-
more.
this
That's
doesn't
only-
include Main
I-
Street.
That's only 3 parts of the.
Yeah,
Only
no,
3.
I mean, well, I'm sorry, I misspoke, not the whole project. The 3 that you're talking about,
It's 970.
Yeah.
that's total to
Yeah.
do that
And
whole,
485 comes from
from
that
us,
grant.
Yeah.
And the other 485.
right.
When they made the grant, they said the other 485, half of it would come from WIA, which didn't come because they applied for the whole thing. And half of it would come from the town some way or another.
Correct.
Yeah, so then, and then EFC, if we got the loan through EFC, we could work towards getting the actual grant funding to pay that loan back instead of us having to pay it back too.
Yeah,
on
which
the
I-
road as we have the loan.
That's what we kind of discussed in December when that meeting with him is moving forward with that.
He was trying to,
Right.
that whole thing was about six,
For the whole 6, yeah.
for the whole six, trying to get plans and everything, get all the plans for six.
All the design,
And then
yeah.
we're spending all this grant money on the plans for six. What we kind of uncovered through, Julie Berlini's this amazing grant consultant, Ron, senior advisor, and Linda was here for a moment, just community liaison, and has done a lot of grant work as like a volunteer advisory committee, have gone through these things, and we've pretty much determined that we can totally start on just the three and move forward on planning for those three with an extended plan for the other three, while we try and figure out what the heck to do on Main Street.
Not only that, but the breakdown on the grant monies that were awarded are very specific in how they break down, and only 16,000 of that can really be allocated to planning. And the bulk of that, it's that sheet that's like, you've got circles on it.
That's the other part of that money.
900
Can't be used, all that money can't go towards planning.
$948,000 of that project, the way it's allocated in the grant and it was awarded, has to be construction cost. It's almost all basic,
Yeah,
like direct costs.
different than what we thought.
16,000 of it is planning, and I forget what the third piece is, but
5,000 is other direct cost, which is administrative and so on.
So that 400 that we have can't go towards the design? Because didn't we say we had to do the design?
only 8,000 of it could go toward planning.
Right here, check
Like
this out.
whether or not it could, in the grant application, justification for the project, the construction was put in at that amount?
Yeah.
Construction.
But in the granting, I'm not sure if it specified that it had to go for that.
So there's the construction line of it,
I think that's where it should go.
and then you go to consultant line of it,
Application.
and then there's other direct costs for 5,000. So this grant that we have to use, we were awarded this. We've got to use it.
Right, so how long
We've gotta put
before
it
we
to-
use it? We don't
I
know.
think there's time.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's a mission schedule in here, but yeah, it's
So in the bottom line, we have to decide if we wanna go borrow this money so we can move on. And that's remember, that's
By the year's end, you should have a plan to make the match.
that's the sewer district
Whether it
paying
be
it
through
back.
grants, whether it be through a loan, whether it be through whatever, by the end of this year, you should have a plan.
Right. a
For the
design.
match to pay
For design,
back the loan.
But we need to
When you
come up,
say a
we need to
plan-
come up with more money to be able to move forward with the engineering.
Correct.
of that, and that's part of that other.
When you
that-
say,
that part of
when
that-
you say plan,
What if
Linda,
we
you
have
mean the
in the
design?
district?
Same thing, is that the same?
It's on the paper, right?
Because we granted Corey to go ahead and do the design in a
Yeah, I
meeting.
thought we did.
I have that, it's been signed and everything.
Do you have funding for that?
Well, that's the thing. We thought,
don't.
no, but then I thought at the meeting, we were sitting in with all those people, that 400 could be used for that we needed 300 to do the design, I
No.
think, three.
No, and I was gonna talk a little, yeah.
See, that's, it gets a little complicated.
We in September, we did a statement of qualification for we got one bid for that, for a statement of qualification. And that was the BCA, that was in the September meeting. And we met in December with Corey Reed, and it's like, there wasn't really much direction here, it just there wasn't like a vote to move forward with a specific.
Thought we did.
Yeah, you can go to the end of it.
I had something here that said,
The actual meeting,
Signed off and
if you
said
watch
that
it
you
and
can-
look at the minutes, it was a statement of qualification.
yeah, that was that part of that. Somewhere in here it says, I thought I have to read it through it now, because I had some stuff here.
So and again, BCA's, Corey, they've done work up here, they're great. We just have to figure out, because this thing right here is for the whole 6 areas of concern. And this part right here, we don't need to do that, and the money, the northern borders we have won't cover that.
Right. Oh,
It's literally saying it cannot be used on planning. So we have to restructure this with BCA if we so choose to use BCA in Corey, which is great. Like I said, I don't have any qualms with that. I'm just saying we have to figure out a different plan of doing things.
And this.
That 970 will not, it cannot go towards paying a consulting firm $780,000 or whatever for plans for the 6 points or whatever it is.
Yeah, just for the 3 points.
Like if they're gonna,
Not even-
Northern
doesn't
Borders
cover
is
the
saying in
full
this
cost of the-
in this big award, we're gonna give you all this money, but it's gotta go towards actually construction.
And you know, I think a key thing to think about is that even if it could go to that, is that what you wanted to do? Would you rather wait another year, do more planning, and then try to get money to do the whole project? Or would you rather start on the 3 critical ones right now? And this grant clearly says you can apply it to construction. Maybe you have to, maybe you don't have to, but you certainly can. And when you look at this, this is the thing, that contract that came from that SOQ. It says that it is important to note that this is a budget, and actual costs may vary from the budget provided. Once construction contracts are awarded and a schedule is established, we'll refine this budget. So this thing from BCA that's got $452,000 and then another total of $783,000 for planning and design, which Scott thinks includes the sewage treatment plant. I don't think it really does, but
I don't think it.
none of that has been contractually obligated. It's just a budget that this is what it cost if you did this stuff with us. But I don't think it commits you to doing that stuff with.
Yeah. Basically, to summarize again, for purpose of the night, we've got to get a better plan and decide amongst us up here how we want to go about utilizing the Northern Borders grant that we have in front of us and how we can actually, use it because we've gotten it. And one of those things will be to work furthermore with the EFC on a potential for the funding to come from them and what kind of basis that is. And then once we get that, they're gonna tell us we have to put this towards actual construction. Then we say, hey, BCA, you got to do it this way. Would you like the job, or go out to bid, or however it would work with other associates. And then we do that part with that money. So we actually get what I think I've been 4 years for me. Mike's longer than that.
Well, I mean, the work actually goes out to bid. They're
Exactly.
engineering, firm, consulting firm. So it still all have to go out to bid.
Thank you.
To a contractor.
Yeah.
Right.
To do.
So
They
that's
just oversee all of it. They're engineering consulting firm.
yeah.
And so would we
Exactly.
have to, pay the money up front and then get reimbursed that grant money? You know, like at the library, sometimes we had to, our big geothermal project, like we're still
I
waiting on
don't believe so.
Julie said that with this, there's so many acronyms here, Northern Border NBRC.
Regional Commission.
No,
That you pay,
I'm
and they
getting
you submit to them and they reimburse you, as opposed
Is
to
that what you're saying?
that we are where you submit the bill to them and they pay it directly.
Yeah.
But they've allocated that 480, whatever.
I mean, look at this.
It's
This
coming
is
quick.
it's like secured and everything. I mean, it's exciting stuff. It's
well,
good stuff.
I've obviously been following this a long time, but I still haven't gotten this in my head. Call me a thickhead or whatever.
No, you're fine.
We have that grant money as long as we match it to make the 900. But that doesn't. If we go out and borrow the other part of that, the other half, what can we do?
So
3
EFC
points.
gives us a loan to match this grant.
Okay, I'm saying they already did. We matched that
You're
grant.
saying that
If
it's
we did
happened,
that,
great.
yeah.
So what happens as this is ongoing, we can apply for grant funding as it's going with for the WIA grant. We would hope then that WIA grant would then be contributed to that loan that we've got to pay back.
But
Okay.
Mike, I think what you're asking is that, could you then, I think then what you would do is, if you get the loan, and you got the whole 970 available.
Correct, that's what
Then
I'm.
you tell Corey, let's start doing the engineering for the 3 that are in this, and put it out for,
Can we get that done?
That's
Three.
That's what we
That's
figured
all
out.
I wanna
Yes.
know right now. Cause we're shooting for a really lot here and we're slowly getting there, but this one on Pullman Ave has been the
Right.
thing that needs to be done, so I've been saying for years, let's just fix that.
And I will say, just because I want to let Kyle here go, the one part where you're talking about how are we going to pay for that because it's still a loan, Herkimer Oneida County Community Foundation was setting up a sewer fund for us, along with Adirondack Community Foundation is doing the same for like,
Could be,
yeah,
it could, if it.
we I met with Nick Rimmer down there.
Could be.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying it people could
be.
support
So
that fund.
I'm all for, we need to move forward with the sewers. It's been a topic of discussion for
Ever.
ever.
That's what we're doing.
I'm just worried about, and this is a question for you, what the sewer budget looks like.
Yeah, I'm digging
We've-
into that.
We sit up here, we know it's in dire need. We just completed one project that still gotta pay, I believe, a little bit on it. If we don't get any grants, we don't get any of this funding, we take out this loan, how the hell are we paying for it?
Right. See, the sewer district right now is paying for, I believe, 2 different pump stations that we've had redone.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where we're at with the
And we'll
plan.
get that
I think we're
information.
pretty close to having that resolved.
Yeah.
With
So-
the roof and all that.
I think that's why too, we kept trying to shoot for the full project.
Yeah.
Because what was available for just the 3, we were figuring wasn't gonna cover for us to start and finish the 3 with available monies. So we kept trying to shoot for the 6, shoot for the whole project, and we just, I don't know, I think
No,
after this,
you're
I'm a little
right.
more confused, so I'll just back up and be quiet now.
I'm still there because we still need to figure out money to go towards the engineering cost because that line only has 16,000 in it, right? Those are the 2 numbers I heard on that.
The grant money,
Yeah,
yeah.
to use
16,
towards that.
right, you said for planning.
Yeah, 16 was towards
16
planning.
something is what the application, when the town applied, it broke down how those funds would be spent out, that total 900, that $1 million basically. And it's like 16,000 something for planning, 5,000 for other direct costs, and the rest, really 978,000, something like that.
but I think.
See, that's where we need to come up with that money to move forward with that grant money to get the construction phase done. Because we don't have the grant doesn't have the money
We gotta
for
come up with the other
Engineering.
400.
the engineering and
Architecture.
planning to do the 3 projects.
No, what the town applied for was primarily direct costs for the construction.
Now, see, the way it's written, this is justification for the project cost. So this is an application, and they're saying where it's gonna go. And they didn't specifically
They
say,
typically do.
like, I think under construction, engineering should be listed there, because you can't construct it without the engineering.
Yeah.
And so the fact that some of this, BCA must think that some of this can be applied for engineering, because they want to apply the whole thing to engineering for all 6 projects. So I don't think there's Julie would be a better source of that, but I'd
And she tried to be
be
here.
pretty confident that out of this, the engineering costs could be covered as part of the construction component of it, because it's not in the grant. This is the application. In the grant, it didn't earmark it and say this can only be used for physical construction, not for engineering.
So we've had other grants that say that specifically, though, you can't use it for a certain thing, it's only used for this, not for this. That's always been the stumbling point, is, well, we need to do this first, why can't we use it for that, you know?
But to be
Drives me nuts.
awarded, you had to say certain things.
Right.
To be eligible, there's certain things that have to happen and be in place, and we are more eligible, it turns out, if we, if we phase projects and we apply, we demonstrate the entirety of a project, but we demonstrate that we're asking for funding for this portion of it, right? So, I think everybody has done a lot of things right.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just that it's very confusing to
It's all
figure out
good
all
stuff.
the pieces and all the threads
So-
and what's the number one.
So to go off, and we'll move on.
Gotta go.
The last part I wanna say on this is, all we've done is dive into this thing. There's been no movement towards, we're doing the three, there's nothing of the sort. And we know there's a lot more information and research to do. This was literally just, I think, mostly today. That we dove into this after other stuff that we were provided from Corey Reed and EFC. So this is just very, very recent. We've got a lot more work to do. Scott is super excited about the potential of doing the three. I think anybody really would be, but we have got more work to do and we will provide all that documentation to everybody to figure out what we can and can't do, financially and both through this grant.
So,
Very, hopefully soon, because again, we gotta get decisions made on this award, you know?
so I'm always the nervous one in my household, like, we could do this, cause we're going to have this come in potentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm
I think
like,
that's what Kyle's saying too, yeah. Yep.
so, does Julie think if we were to proceed, I know you've said our chances seem better to get more grant money, but that's not 100% guaranteed.
So I sat with Elizabeth Ricci from EFC. She is a funder. She looks at your application, and Corey Reed was there. It was a Zoom, so she just filled us in on our. They can only say so much verbally. You know, I'm sorry, they can't put so much in an email in writing, but she said that our application and where we stand is very helpful to future funding with WIA. One of the things holding us back is a more thorough plan, but also our 1993 procurement policy.
It was updated.
With whiteout. And there's nothing wrong with, it's not from, but again,
Yeah,
it's
no.
like, hey, how do we give you $2 million when your protocol is for two verbals to be accepted? A verbal quote, I mean, who gets a verbal quote these days? I mean, we do, it's great, but I'm just saying that kind of,
Yeah.
she was very optimistic about Webb's previous applications, the work that was done before us. Mike, all of us were a part of it stuff the last couple of years. So this is all good stuff. And again, I think the most important part here is getting the logins. We're Dawn is getting us in all these state financial systems and making sure like, hey, we're on top of our game. And then hopefully they're like,
What do we need
here's a
to
couple
update
bucks.
the procurement policy?
This thing right here is a complete sample worksheet that you guys, we're gonna make copies of, and you guys take this thing home, look it over, do whatever. This is nothing, this isn't even a draft. So if we get this thing updated, I don't even know how, I haven't even looked at this yet, I just kinda printed out like something. Yeah, thank
See you,
you.
Don, thank you.
So we can go.
Alright.
Okay.
Got that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have a good night,
One
Mary.
last thing in this, I think Kyle and Kelly's concerns are really valid and important, and you have to think of.
All of our concerns, really.
Worst case,
Yeah.
I know, I just
Oh,
mean
God.
relative
Yeah.
to, what do you do if you don't get a grant to repay that loan?
Right.
And I think it's gotta be looked at like, what do you do if you don't fix the sewer pipes, you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
if you don't fix those pipes and the ones in Pullman Avenue go bad and the whole town's backed up. So I think you have to think, okay, the worst case scenario is you get $970,000 worth of stuff done. You don't get a grant for the other 400, you gotta figure out over the next 4 years how to pay back that 0% loan. And hopefully you can do it by a whole bunch of different grant applications, chipping at it, or one big one getting most of it. But in the worst case scenario, you got a budget for it, maybe over 4 years.
Which means putting the costs on our sewer users,
Right.
which
Right, that's where it ends up having.
I have a hard time with that, especially seeing who lives in my neighborhood. I would never ask, a lot of them are on strict budgets, and to go up even more on our sewer bill, I'm
That's
not,
why
I'm
you
not ready for that.
That's why you try to get the grants to not to do it.
No, I totally understand that. I'm worst case scenario thinker.
Right. But if the-
Here's the best. I'm thinking down here, we're not getting anything, how are we paying?
Right.
Right.
And we got some time, so we're gonna dive into that.
Right,
So
and if the
let's,
pipes collapse, then who pays for that?
Yeah.
The sewer district.
Well,
I mean,
see,
it definitely needs to be done, we all know.
Yeah, we all know.
Right.
and what a lot of people don't understand is the sewer, everybody keeps saying the sewer is the sewer, the sewer, the sewer. Through the zillions of years, we have been upgrading sewer problems. Everything that breaks has been getting fixed. It's not like we're neglecting it.
Right.
I mean, the pumps, the sewer plant, the lines that have been screwing up in town, we've been fixing stuff. But there's some major things that need this money. So, that sums it up at all, but everything that we just said though, that's the reason why it's been taking so long, because we just don't have the dollars to, who's paying for it? The sewer district, it's not the general public, it's the sewer district people. There's not a lot of them.
No, there's not.
Jay, do you have anything, or?
Yeah, real quick. Judy's been stopping in the office and talking to me with a bunch of this stuff. I had some questions that she actually got me answers to. I did send out an email to you guys talking about after the fact permits, something we were talking about in the office. The idea behind that is a lot of times people are starting their projects, we don't have plans, we don't know if they're meeting setbacks, that type of thing, and then we have to send out a notice of violation. Then there's a big long process, and then finally they'll come pull their permit. Well, people think they should be charged for that. And that's what we were starting, what we were calling an after the fact permit. I talked to John, the code enforcement officer up in Inlet, and what they have in place is what they're, at the bottom of their list here is commencing work with, commencing work first without first obtaining a permit increases the permit fee to twice. So, I mean, on a shed, that's not that big of a deal, but if you're starting a foundation on a house that's got a $1,300 permit, you know, all of a sudden that fee is doubled. We're not looking to go that extreme. We're thinking something like a baseline for.
I like that idea.
I like that one.
You like that?
I think it would stop them.
Yeah.
I think it would too.
You know, I mean,
I don't want to be in the bad guys.
and respectively, I think it should be structured that way, because the bigger the project that you don't get a permit for, I mean, if you just, shed or something,
Yeah.
Sure, but like if you're not getting a permit for a house on the
foundation.
water, what the heck?
A shed is a prime example of there's got to be some flexibility here, because
Yeah.
we have
I'm with
issues
Kyle
with,
there.
if you look at New York State building, it says anything under 140 square feet doesn't need a permit. But town zoning says differently, so, you know, there's some judgment calls there. But, I mean, they actually redid their schedule fee recently. And John had stopped in and got a copy of ours so that they could go base it off of ours, and they just went a little bit higher because we figured we'll be doing ours soon. They also have, if we do send out a stop work order, what they have is removal of stop work order, $250. So to free it up and get your permit is another $250 on top of the doubling the permit.
Right.
So they've really cracked down on it up there. It's just something I'd love to implement. I just want you guys' blessing to do it.
This has gotta be added.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a board decision that you could probably do it Tuesday.
Well, we'd have to have something written up.
Would we
Yeah, I can write
revise?
something.
Probably
out
gotta,
between.
What? Would
I mean,
we have to
I
revise
ran it
the
by
plan?
Brian in an
No,
email.
That doesn't include the, okay. Sorry.
Boy, yeah, what did Brian say? How does it get?
you have ran it by Brian?
Yeah.
Oh, you have, and he, so what did he say?
He shot it back to me in an email. He was basically like, it's just got to be drafted up and then voted on by you guys.
Does he draft it or you draft it?
I didn't even get that far ahead because I wasn't sure what route you wanted to go.
He would have to draft it.
Yeah, that's.
It's that, or is it just something that we can add to our schedule? It might be that simple. I can find out.
Yeah, let's follow up on that.
It's a good idea.
I also talked to Brian about the short-term rentals, all the violations. This is just from last week that I found. Every one of those would be $350. So you're talking about looking for money for the sewer. The STRs were supposed to help with all of the infrastructure. There's a ton of money for you.
I don't think it
Was it that just the small claim kind of going to
Yeah,
small
going through.
claims?
Yeah, he said,
can't use it for sure.
actually,
I don't think we can.
That's a good question. I'll ask,
Yeah.
because that's one of those up in the air questions too, like, if there's properties in sewer district,
so we have to find out who we're gonna send
can it be you? Can
the,
that money go into the sewer district? Why
I
couldn't
don't
it?
think so.
He's actually got a template, about a small claims template that he's prepared, and it's more or less, we just fill out the blanks, and then if you want him to draft up the resolution for that, he'll do that.
I think we should move forward with that.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
honestly,
You know.
it's to the point where people are like, they're not enforcing it, so, you
Yeah.
know, 3-bedroom house, sleeps 15.
Yeah.
It's not even an exaggeration as bad as that sounds, you know, and then the last one, we're just waiting on the zoning revision. And as soon as that passes, cause I don't wanna, right now, all of the, permit renewals have to go to the zoning board. The zoning board looks at it and looks at me and goes, should we pass these? And I say yes, and then they write it out, and it's this process that just needs to be handled in the office. As soon as that's taken away from the ZBA and it's just in our office, I'm gonna start, following up on all of the permits that are just overdue. And there's a laundry list of them, because they're only good for a year, so.
Right.
It's just another way to get people to follow up getting their inspections. A lot of them will be like, oh, well, that project's done, just come to your final, and just, as long as we could close them out, that's great. But, I mean, there's just a lot of areas that have never been followed up on that we just wanna tighten it up a little bit.
And we need to, we definitely need to.
Yeah.
So I'll
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll get some stuff,
Get some more
drawn up
stuff.
probably tomorrow, and I'll get it to you guys to all see before the board meeting.
Yeah. Where's that, you know anything about this, the other deal up on Fourth Lake?
The Ramona Point thing?
Yeah, Ramona Point.
Oh, boy.
Tomorrow, I talk to Brian now.
I don't know what's going on.
No, I know.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
Our
Well,
legal
they-
assistant has drafted a complaint, and after review and revise, I'll try to get it done over the weekend. 2 of our 4 full-time lawyers are on maternity leave, and we're trying to keep our heads above water.
That's from who?
Brian?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, it's past the weekend, I gotta call him about those resolutions anyway, so when I do, I'll ask him about the Ramona Point thing, and at the same time, about the STRs, and about the, schedule fee.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
We're missing out on a lot of money on those.
The short, I mean,
Jeez.
there's the money side of it, and there is just a ton of safety issues on the other
Well,
side.
and that too, but I'm just saying we're missing out on
Yeah.
taking care of it, let's put it that
Could we
way.
be greedy and multiply it by 3?
I mean, honestly, even a shed, when a shed gets taxed or gets figured out at a square footage, so.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's $100 or $150 for a shed, you start figuring out square footage of a 600 foot,
Right.
square foot shed, it adds up.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Sure.
You wanna keep going?
Yeah. Don just reminded me before the arcade over here with the Riverside Drive.
Yeah.
Revocable encroachment license. It's something that we can pull at any, but I mean, as they work towards the sale of the property or however they're doing that over there, we're okay with Brian drafted that all up. You guys saw that we can.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did ask a question about that, well, in my head, I asked a question about that. That's so that because that overthing is on our property.
So I think what happened is they built their roof there years ago, where the ice cream cone is, and then they're like, oh, that'd be kind of neat to put down, or whatever. They put some tables there.
Of that.
So the overhang is, it's in the air,
On our,
but the fact that they made a pad and put things there, now they're on our property.
Yeah, the overhang is on our property, and we have a big old tube that runs down the side of the
Yeah.
building to the pump station.
That's what I was asking about.
Yeah.
We gotta make sure that granting that,
The
property, whatever we gotta do. If we need to get in there, we can.
Yeah, that's what this is
Yeah.
for, so that gives them the use
Brian-
of it, and then if
Cause
something
I believe the
does-
tube, we already have
It's
the right of way easement to, it's just anything that's under that overhang. If we need to get to, we have to
We
get
need
to
to be
it.
able to, yes.
Brian's got us
No
pretty
questions
covered.
asked.
Yeah, he's got us pretty
Do
covered.
we own just that jog, and then do they own where they park along the side?
There's like state-owned spots on the sides of them where they park, and then the to the house,
To
there's
the-
another easement.
Yes,
Right.
to the, so if you're looking at the arcade, from the front door to the road, we own by their parking spots there by just the tree right there. I think that's DOT ownership.
Yes.
Part of
That
that's
one is
DOT ownership, and then going down the side of the building to the left is our ownership. Because at one point in time, it was envisioned for that to be a road to Riverside Drive. It's supposed to be Riverside Drive
Called
East goes
Riverside
to the
Drive.
end
Yeah.
on the other side of Mitchell's property,
Yeah.
and it was supposed to connect at one point, but it
Someone
never
put a
came to
house in the middle
fruition.
of
I was gonna say, so they have an easement to get to their house?
They do.
Yeah.
So this is a revocable encroachment license, meaning like if there's an issue in the future or whatever it is, we can just be like, hey.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we're very protected with this. There's a few of them in town where.
That's what a TRP is, temporary,
Yep.
irrevocable permit.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, we'll that sounds good. Yeah.
You just sign that and send it back.
Yeah. I'm okay with it.
That's it. I gotta. Anything else? I got more stuff. Yeah.
Are we doing that? No.
Tuesday.
I think we can wait till Tuesday when Judy's back and
Yeah.
Okay,
talk about that.
perfect.
Personnel and employee. Okay,
Tuesday it is.
okay, Tuesday.
Rubber
Be
band.
shorter because we did all this stuff now.